Hi guys, today we're going to do a really cute craft. It's going to be doing a tissue holder. Some of you may find this very cute. Some of you are going to be offended by it. I hope you're not. It just comes out. I hope some of you say, hey, this is creative. I like this idea. You don't have to do the witch or the Frankenstein that I'm going to do. You could do a ghost, a friendly ghost. You could do a jack-o'-lantern, whatever you feel. Or you could do a turkey for Thanksgiving, whatever you feel like you want to do. I am going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly of this whole process so you don't have to do that because there are some. It's an easy project for children to do, so put them to work doing something fun, creative, get those minds going. So anyway, let's get to crafting, y'all. I think you're really going to enjoy this craft. Please leave me a like. Please subscribe because I think if you watch this all the way through and how I do Frankenstein, you will see at the end, I do not finish Frankenstein, and I will explain why. I mean, I get him all ready to be painted, but I'll explain why. It was a sad day, but it comes out cute. So stay with me, okay? Let's get to crafting, you guys. Okay, guys, we're going to take the witch that I made. I put her on a peanut butter jar, and I just formed the clay around it. I had some cracks, and I'll explain how we're going to fix them. And why the clay is wet, you want to put some grooves in on your teeth that you make. That way when you want to make them decayed and gross looking, you can, basically. Now I'm just going to take 2 shades of green and just kind of color the witch all green. You don't have to use 2 shades. You can just use 1 shade. Doesn't matter. I just kind of like the variations on it. And like I said, I did have some major cracks happen. And I think it's with Crayola clay, air dried clay. It has a tendency to want to do that. I will explain on Frankenstein how I did it different, so maybe it wouldn't crack as much. But how I fixed it is I just pulled a napkin apart and took the back part of it with, I made some slip. And in another previous video, I explained how to make slip. It's just taking the clay and some water, making it really creamy, and put in the crack. Once that dried, I took some Mod Podge, the back of tore a little piece off, however big the crack was, and I put that in there. And then I put the Mod Podge back over it. You will see on the lines on the nose, I put those in there while it was wet because I want to give it a wrinkly, crinkly look. And you'll see how I put more detail in it in a little bit. And I didn't want to cover my warts green. I want to make them a grayish color. Make sure you get the underneath nose and inside where the tissue will pull out. You'll want to make sure you get that really, really good painted, as well as when we put the Mod Podge over. Once you get this all painted, and I painted it twice, so you will see that it gets a little darker. Now I'm adding the decayed look, and I'm just taking a brown, a dark brown. It doesn't matter. You could use black if you wanted to. And I'm just going over where I put those grooves in on the teeth. And then you'll see here in a little bit, I'm going to take, and then I placed the black all around where the backing of the mouth would be, you know, dark space in the mouth. I'm going around the eyelids with the black too, because it will make the eyes look very dramatic and a little bit evil and wicked looking. And you just take your time, you guys. Have fun doing this. You don't have to paint the around the eyes black if you don't want to. You could do a flesh color. You could do like that. Whatever you want to do. You don't even have to paint the green witch. You could paint her a flesh color as well. And I put a little pink inside the corners. I just didn't show you that. Now I'm going to show you where I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow that I'm going to use. And the yellow I'm going to use for the teeth is going to be King's Gold yellow. And I'm just going to brush that on top of the decay. And here I'm showing you that. And you're just going to brush over it. You want to blend it in a little bit on it, so you don't want to just keep it really harsh, unless you want it to look really harsh there. And then and I also put a little bit of white, but I don't show you me doing that. I put it on the tips, so you know, just kind of have some good teeth in there a little bit. Come on. And once you get the teeth all painted, we're going to do the lips. I picked a bright red. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I picked a bright red. You could use a black, you could use a sparkly purple, you could do whatever colors you want. See, here's what I go around. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the inside. See how she's coming together, guys? Looking wicked. I just think she's coming together good. It's so easy to do. The way I did the lips, guys, is I made one big long worm and just kind of formed the lips how I wanted them to look, and then I put them on. And I'll show you how I blend all this in. Now I'm showing you where I made lines with the brown underneath the eyes, where I put the wrinkles. I grooved those in too while the clay was wet. And I found some looked a little harsh, so I dipped my finger in some water and paint and kind of brushed over it. It'll blend it in so it doesn't look as harsh. And I'm going to do that on the nose as well. And I'm also making the nose, put a little highlight with the lighter green on the nose. I just think you've got to have a little shine, a little highlight here and there. So that's what I'm doing here. I do it on both sides and on the bridge of the nose as well. I'll do a little bit underneath the eyes. You just play around with how you want this to look. And now I'm just going to put a little bit right around underneath the eyes there. See how cute she's coming out, guys? And here I'm just kind of defining a little better. And you'll see I'll do the same technique. I'll go back over with a little highlighter and then blend it in so it looks more, not so harsh, a little more natural looking, I guess. For a witch, I guess. I don't know. It's my creation. I'm just playing around. You guys do the same. Like I said, you don't have to do a witch. You could do a ghost. You could do a jack-o'-lantern. Now I'm going to clean off. I took a Q-tip and I went around, but the Q-tip wasn't really getting it. So then I went to a toothpick and I could get into the edges real good and get the paint that I got on the eye. And if you look real close, the white in the eye is a ghost. Just perfect for the witch, I thought. Now I'm going to take dishwasher safe Mod Podge and I'm going to I put 3 coats on. You could probably get by with 2 coats. But I put 3 on just because I wanted to make sure it was sealed good. This is my prototype. I won't be selling this one, but I am going to be doing a craft show, and I might try to sell a couple of these just to see how they go. But I just think this will be sitting around my house. I just think it was a cute little idea. I seen this on Pinterest, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to step this up a little bit. And they just had like a big nose, and you pull the tissue out. I'm going to create a Halloween witch and Frankenstein. Now I'm going to take this the yarn in black that I got from Dollar Tree, and I made a slit in each end of this, and I'm just going to, and this is my hat, and the hat that I'm using I got from Temu. I just soaked it in some glue and some cinnamon and some coffee, instant coffee, and then I stuffed it with tinfoil. I'm going to glue it to the rim of that peanut butter jar. Now I'm going to show you how I do this. I took and I wrapped that around the cardboard and I would tie it off at the top and then I would cut it and then I would just make bundles like that. Super easy. Now I'm going to show you, don't want to put the hair so it covers the eye. So you're just going to play around, glue it on there, and then you're going to trim it off. Now, you don't have to trim it. You could just leave it if you like it that way. And you just continue to do that. If you see some spots that need filled in, just put another bundle over the top. And trim again. I think she's coming out cute, guys. Then I decorated the hat. And how I made the webs, you know those pesky little blue lines, strings we get all over our projects that drive us nuts? I thought I'm going to use them for good this time. I'm putting it all over the hat. Look like spider webs. And I just took whatever decorations I wanted to. I put a little gold spider on there. But look, guys, didn't she come out cute? Kind of scary, but she's cute. And I'll show you at the end. Now coming up will be Frankenstein. I love her. Tell me what you think. Now you're going to take a jar, and this is a milk bone jar for my dog treats. It was square. I thought this would be a perfect Frankenstein. I drilled a bunch of holes. Now, why I drilled a bunch of holes was on the witch, she had a lot of cracking, and I didn't do that on the inside. And they say if it dries faster on the outside than it does coming from the inside, it will cause cracks. So this was my theory. Then you take 2 dowel rods here, guys, and I put down some cornstarch, and I'm going to roll this out so I have the same thickness. That's what the dowel rods will do. And then this will be to the front, and you'll see that I will take it off here in a little bit, because then I realized I got to drill where my nose hole will be that the tissue will pull out of. So just kind of measure where you think the middle will be and just drill yourself a hole. And once that's all done, you want to make sure you get the sharp shavings out of there. I took a little sandpaper, I didn't show it on film, and sanded it so it would be smooth, because you don't want it to tear stuff. If you wouldn't cover it with clay or something, it could tear the tissue, and you don't want that. Now I'm putting this on. This will be the back part, and I'm just smoothing it out with a little bit of water on my finger. You don't want to saturate it, because that also, too wet of clay will cause a lot of cracking as well. I'm trying to give you guys, don't do what I do, don't do what I did, kind of thing, so you don't run into the same problems. Then I'm going to place this over, and I'm going to put where I want, well, this on the back side again, and I'm going to smooth this out. See where I connected some pieces? I'm going to smooth that out with a little bit of water. I have like a little sponge, and I'm just going to smooth that out. I'm not making it really, really wet, and blend that in a little better. Also, having a little bit of wetness on the clay here will help it stick to the jar better as well. And then you're just going to place that on there. It goes really fast, guys, and it's easy. But I would use the dowel rods to help make the thickness the same. I didn't do that on the witch, and I think I had so many thicknesses, different thicknesses, that caused a lot of cracking as well. Now I'm just forming it to the jar, and I'll smooth it out again here and there. Now I'm going to flip it over, and I want to make sure I line it up here, because I'm going to put a hole where the tissue will come through. And I'm going to get this a little damp too, so it'll stick on there good. And just kind of form it the way you want. Now I'm going to take a little tool, kind of make my hole there, and then I'm going to take the dowel rod and smooth it out around the edges. That fast, that easy. There you go. These come out so cute. He is so cute. My daughter wanted him, and what happened, guys, was he was dry and he had a little bit of cracks, not near like the witch did. So I do think the holes do help. Here I'm blending it together with a tool, and you can get tools off of Amazon for working with air dry clay and stuff, and that's where I got mine. And then I'm just going to clean that edges up a little bit there. But what I was saying was, when you want to with the cracks in that, what happened was I took, and I noticed a little crack on Frankenstein, so I fixed him, right? So I thought, you know what, since I got these holes, I'm going to go ahead and take my hair dryer and go up inside there and kind of see if I can help dry the middle part out a little faster. What happened, guys, is this milk bone thing is cheap plastic. I didn't even have it on high setting. It melted the inside of that, and Frankenstein fell apart right in front of my eyes. I about cried. I did. He comes out so cute in the end, guys. And like I was saying, my daughter wanted him, and he fell apart on me. So don't do what I did. Let it dry on its own. Just let it be. If you get some cracking, I explained how to fix that. Just do that. Now I'm putting the top on, and I'm going to smooth it out. You're going to seal all the edges again with that little tool, or you can pinch it together with your finger and flatten it down if you don't have the tools. You don't have to buy all fancy tools to do this. You can pinch it together with your fingers and smooth it out that way as well. And once you get this all, his top of his head on, we're going to start building his face up. And like I said, just smooth him out, make his head look a little smooth and fine. But I think using the milk bone thing is so good for Frankenstein, because it's that squared look. Okay, now I'm going to show you where you can put the bolts. I put the bolts up at the top of his head. You can put it down by the neck if you want. It's your preference. Do what you like. I just making like a little thick worm there, and then I'm going to tap it off and give it that squared off look, roundish look. Now pinch a little piece off there. You're going to want to take your tool or toothpick and make some grooves in there. It helps it stick better. Add a little water to the bolt. Stick it on there. And I'll show you here in a second how we do that. It is so easy. And then you're just going to take this, stick it on there. And then you're going to take your tool and blend the edges into the side of the head there. And then you'll take your finger like we've been doing, and you're just going to blend it in and smooth it around so you don't see any edges that didn't blend in. This doesn't take long at all, guys. It's fun, it's relaxing. So he's starting to take shape. Now I'm going to build his nose. Now we give Frankenstein plastic surgery on his nose, guys, okay? I thought this bridge of a nose would be enough. I'm starting to add the nostrils, and I end up taking these nostrils off because you'll see why. You'll be going like, oh my God, child, take that off. Because this is, it looks hideous, doesn't it? I mean, come on, it's Frankenstein, but he deserves a little bit, look a little better, don't you think? So anyhow, I take these off and say, oh no. So I rebuild the bridge of the nose. So we got a little plastic surgery. Here's after I've done it. I think he came out really cute. Now I just take to do the nostrils. I just made round balls and just formed them around till I got what looked like a nose. Then I took and grooved in hair. So when I would have painted this would all been black, and I put it in so it looked like hair. Now I'm adding eyes, and the eyes I got off of Amazon. Same with the witch. You get a whole bunch of them in this little carton, and it's novelty eyes. And so I thought these look perfect for Frankenstein eyes. And now I just made a worm, and I'm going to make his eyelids. You can glue the eye down with Mod Podge if you want, or when you get this all in there, this really holds the eye in when you do the eye socket. It holds it in. And once you get that done, you're going to smooth in the edges. I made an eyelid, and I wanted to show you that when you put the eyelid on, kind of gives him that crazy look, and you know, when he's walking with his arms out versus not. So I like the eyelids. You just make like a kidney, flatten it down, make like a little kidney shape, put it on there. You're going to use the tool again, straighten it all out like we've been doing. Then I thought, why not, you know, I'm going to give him a little filler in his cheek. So he's getting a little filler in his cheek. So I made a round ball. You're just going to blend it in as usual, like we've been doing. You just blend that in. And also, guys, I give him an eyebrow, and I just made a big worm, went across there and blended it in as like we've been blending stuff in. And I blend the other side in. And I just made a groove in his mouth for a smile, and then I made like a little square to do a tooth. And then I'm just patting it around to get the tooth to look right. Easy, guys. So easy to do it. I think he would have been adorable painted. Tell me what you guys think. I think if I'm going to make another one. I don't know if I'll do a video, but I will make my daughter one. Look how cute he is. I did put some stitches on his side of his face. I just didn't show you guys that. Then you want to put him on top dowel rods or something so the underneath can get air to it. Look how cute they look, guys. And see, he'll just pull the tissue out. Oh my God, didn't they come out so cute? Thank you.